curtailing more flights. Indigo CEO Peter Elbers issues a fresh statement, says Indigo operations have normalized. After defying High Court order over lighting lamp in temple, now DMK moves to impeach High Court judge. India bloc leaders submitted a notice on motion of impeachment to the Speaker. TVK Chief Vijay holds first rally after Karur stampede tragedy, invokes MGR and his old connection with Puducherry, targets DMK in a mega show of strength. Let's now begin with the story of criminal negligence and a brazen escape. In Goa, the owners of the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane, Saurav and Gaurav Luthra, fled to Phuket within hours of the massive fire that killed 25 people. Interestingly, both took an Indigo flight to escape while airports were in chaos, leaving the airline facing scrutiny. A blue corner notice has been issued against the brothers, and authorities are coordinating with the Interpol and the Central Bureau of Investigation to bring them back to face justice in India. 3 properties under the Luthra brothers have been now sealed. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has also ordered the demolition of their main outlet Romeo Lane Vagator. Meanwhile, a search at their Delhi residence is also currently underway. And in the latest, we're learning of this first image of absconder Gaurav Luthra that has been accessed, and he had been spotted in Thailand. Let's now get you a detailed route map of how exactly the Luthras escaped the law, what really unfolded on that ill-fated night when the report of this blaze surfaced. So this is what we are putting out for our viewers to get you a sense of this exact timeline and what really has happened ever since 25 lives have been lost. We're talking about how the brothers, the Luthra brothers, have escaped the law. So let's take a look at December 7th. 12:04 is the time when this inferno has been reported at the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane. It ends up killing 25 people, and that's how bad this entire blaze was. At around 2:30 a.m. on that very day, in fact 8 December, 7 December, we're talking about the Luthra brothers reaching the Delhi International Airport. When they got to know about this information, they'd already made plans not to do any kind of damage control or take responsibility of what had happened. The only thing on their mind was to flee the country, and that's why they were at the airport. And in 3 hours, they board this flight, which is Indigo 6C1073, and this was at 5:30 in the morning. This flight took off to Phuket. From India, they go to Phuket, 10 a.m. December 7th itself. The brothers land in Thailand, in Phuket, and that is what we have learnt of. And Saurav Luthra is then when he ends up putting out this Instagram post on this fire tragedy, on how this is an unfortunate incident at Birch, and irreparable loss and overwhelming distress that it has caused to the management. All of this was put out while they had chosen to first put themselves in a safe spot far away from India in Thailand. Now here's how, and we are constantly talking about this blue corner notice that has been now issued against them. The Central Bureau of Investigation got in touch with the Interpol, got this notice against the Luthra brothers who are not in India, and now the member countries have been notified so that they constantly can give India updated information on the whereabouts or any kind of leeway on the brothers' position. So here's how the blue corner notice works. We're not talking about an immediate arrest, which is required when it is a red corner notice. This particular notice is an inquiry notice, which is primarily an alert for the worldwide police to gather that extra information. So first thing that happens here is that the law enforcement agency requests the details from the National Central Bureau, which is the Central Bureau of Investigation. That request is detailed from CBI. And that's when the CBI forwards that request to the Interpol General Secretariat. The Interpol later takes a look at this entire request. It reviews the request. It ensures that all of the information that has been requested of and the blue corner notice that has been requested of is maintaining the due process of law. Once that approval is granted by the Interpol, Interpol then circulates this blue notice to the member countries, 196 member countries. That's where the Interpol sends these notices to. Then the law enforcement agencies of the member countries, particularly the police and all the other agencies, are pressed into action. They then go on to access more information, whatever can be done. The notice doesn't really compel any action against the people which it has been sent out for, because it's a blue corner notice, not a red corner yet. The next step then happens in accordance with the law. So the Luthra brothers right now, blue corner notice that has been issued against them. We are now getting your reaction. Goa DIG is reacting to this entire event that has unfolded right after this blaze at Birch by Romilly.
CBI and Interpol is also going on so that we apprehend them, and they brought the two of them who fled India. We are in the process of getting them back to India, and the other accused also, which are in our radar, teams have been formed and sent to different parts of other states also, and we are after them to book them behind the bars. Actually, they were the operational managers. They had to manage the day-to-day affairs. One had to look after the basic operations, electrical things are put in place, and the fire extinguishers are there. So they were the operational people who were, and each manager had the specific role of the operation of the nightclub. So their role was also found negligent, and that's why they
What about the
fifth accused? We arrested him from Delhi, and he has landed in Goa, and he'll be produced in the court.
My colleagues Yesha and Ankur are with us on the broadcast. Yesha, coming to you first. We just played out that DIG reaction. They're talking about the fifth accused who has been nabbed by the police. He will be presented before the court. But what all has transpired? Anything that you're learning of from the questioning that has now emerged and made public?
Absolutely. In fact, while the fifth accused has been arrested, we've also spoken about the blue corner notice which has been issued against both the Luthra brothers. Apart from that, one more partner of the firm, Ajay, is also under the channel radar of the police. Now, what's important to note at this point is that what we hear from our Goa police sources is that they're likely to get both the Luthra brothers back very soon. Now, this comes in as we see that after this very tragedy that broke out, there are several people, several other irregularities by other clubs of the Luthra brothers, which are under the channel, and which is where we see the other clubs at Vagador, which was also owned by the Luthra brothers. That has also likely to face a bulldozer action very soon. So speaking about all of these instances that are in fact being reported, what we also hear from the sources is that considering that both Gaurav and Saurav Luthra, they escaped right after this very incident was reported, say in less than 2 hours of the time when the tragedy broke out at their Goa club. Now, cops are trying their level best to ensure and get both the Luthra brothers back. Of course, this is a long procedure, but considering the fact that within a short span of time, they also approached CBI and Interpol asking for the help to get the Luthra brothers back, and which is a blue corner notice will be issued. Of course, you already explained the instance of a blue corner notice. The blue corner notice is in fact used so as to ensure that investigation can be done further in this case, and once that has been done, cops are also investigating and questioning several other people who could have been hands and gloves with Luthra brothers, who would have also given permission to their clubs to function. So all of this is a part of the investigation right now. But yes, the prime focus right now for police is to get Luthra brothers, or for that matter, even the partners partners of the club to be present before them, so that further investigation questioning can be done. Yes.
Right, Yesha, thank you so much for all of those details. Ankur also is joining us from the residence of the Luthra brothers. Ankur, you have been mentioning about how they fled from the spot right when they got to know about this blaze at their Goa club. So far, they have been tracked down to Thailand. That is what we are learning of. We just put out that image of Gaurav Luthra as well from Thailand. But any word of people who stay around? Have they said anything? Any house help that possibly can be, still got on camera? Any information that you've managed to get for our viewers?
Yeah, certainly. So we spoke to 3, 4 neighbors who just reside next to the residence of Luthra brothers. So one of them told us that Luthra brothers used to live here since last 30, 35 years, and Luthra brothers and their parents live in this 4-floor building, and they have approximately 6, 7 cars which used to park inside the at the ground floor. But after the incident, if we go by the calculative timeline, so at the time at around 4 a.m. on 7th, a call was made to the local authorities, and after that it is expected that a call was also made to the Luthra brothers that a big fire incident has taken place in their restaurant, and immediately after that it is expected that they thought of leaving the country, because they took the flight which was scheduled at 5:40 a.m. and before they had to reach airport by 2 hours before the scheduled departure, and this place, their residence, is approximately 1.5 hours away from the Delhi airport. So it is very clear that they immediately after the incident they decided that yes, we'll be leaving the country along with the family. Importantly, they parked all the cars, all the expensive cars. They had welfare also, which is over 1 crore rupees, but surprisingly and very sadly, they left their pet inside at the parking lot. There is one security guard also, we were told by the neighbors. But in the morning when media came.
Right, Ankur, I'm really sorry, I'm interrupting you there. I'll come back to you in just a bit. But these are the visuals from Vagator Beach in Goa. This is the prime property of Birch by Romeo Lane, and that will now be demolished in Vagator. And these are the visuals of the JCV that will very soon be seen in action. It has reached that beach in Goa where the prime and the flagship club of the Luthra brothers is all set to be demolished as per the announcement that's been made by the Goa government. Pramod Sawant has spoken about a lot of action against the owners, and also the kind of punishment that is going to be reserved for them. It's not just one property where the blaze really occurred. There are other properties as well in Goa, and this one is the flagship club in Vagator in Goa that is now going to be seeing this bulldozer action deemed illegal. Ankur continues to be with us on the broadcast. Ankur, as far as this particular flagship club of the Luthra brothers is concerned in Vagator, now it is going to be demolished. It has also been deemed illegal. It is not really having the requisite clearances that are needed. More details on that.
Yes, certainly. So they have multiple restaurants apart from a restaurant in Goa where the incident had taken place. They have a restaurant in Delhi also, in Civil Lines area, which is a posh area of Delhi. And apart from that Civil Lines area, there is another restaurant in Netaji Subhash Place. So certainly they have multiple restaurants, and all the restaurants would be under scanner of local authorities. Certainly these restaurants will not be the part of investigation. The part of the investigation would be restricted to that particular restaurant. But certainly all the restaurants would be facing action from the local authority if there is any norms which they have flouted. Back to you.
What has been found out as far as this particular property at Vagator is concerned, Ankur?
So it's in Vagator. It's a very famous Romeo Lane restaurant in Goa, and certainly this recently they have opened it, and before that they already opened multiple restaurants in different part of the different states. And this particular property, we were told that this was the newest property which was opened by them, and it was very famous among the local area. Back to you.
Right, Ankur, do stay on with us. Yesha also continues to be with us. Yesha, bulldozer action that has started, and right on your screens you do see the JCV in action. The demolition has started, Yesha. As far as the Vagator Beach is concerned, this property, Birch by Romeo Lane, the flagship club of the Luthra brothers, getting demolished as we speak.
Absolutely. In fact, this is not the first such instance of irregularities at this very media club. Is this very club at Goa was in fact highlighted. What's important is that even before this was where even before this, there has been time and again where irregularities were, in fact, brought to court. More recently, uh, More recently, it was in May when notice was issued to this club stating that there is irregular, illegal construction that has taken place in and around this club, and all of that was asked to be brought down. But clearly, that is something that was given a blind eye to, and which is now. The fact that the fact that these irregularities are being highlighted, and the first club is where we've seen that the Luka brothers are under the standard.
Right. Yesha, you talk about the illegal construction part of the club. So the entire club is going to be demolished, or just that part which has been deemed illegal is going to be taken down today?
It is just the illegal part of the structure which is now to be brought down. There is approximately more than 198 square meters of the area which is totally illegal. This very club that we speak of is closer to the beach. So yes, when it comes to this very action against them, not the entire club, but just the illegal part of the club is to be demolished. Like we were speaking about, when it comes to irregularities at the club, earlier with March, there were several irregularities that were flouted, and so is the case now with this very club as well. There are several authorities which have time and again flouted and questioned the irregularities at this club, but however, no action is taken on the club before this. Yes.
What was the notice that was sent out to this property by Birch by Romeo Lane? Were there any people to receive that notice? Was this put out talking about this illegal extension to the property that is right now being taken down by the JCB?
So this very club that we speak of, it's not Birch by Romeo Lane, it's Romeo Lane, which is one of the flagship clubs of the Luka brothers. When we speak of the action against them, there are several clubs that the Luka brothers operate across the entire country. In Goa itself, these are two clubs which have been highlighted. There are several of them which are run by Luka brothers. What's important to note at this point of time is that Romeo Lane, when it was issued a notice in May this year itself, there were questions that were raised on several illegal structures, illegal changes that were made to the structure at this club. Now, with this being highlighted is where an action is being taken, an illegal part of the structure is being brought down by the authorities. Yes.
All right. Ankur also continues to be with us on the broadcast. Ankur, Yesha mentions about this notice, about this illegal structure which was part of Romeo Lane that was set up, an extension that was made to this property at Vagator. And it was, that notice was sent out in May this year itself. That's how long back this notice was sent out. But nothing so far was done by either the owners, and the authorities only taking action now after such a tragedy that has emerged where this other property, where the blaze reportedly killed these 25 people.
Certainly. So there are questions which needs to be answered by the local authorities, including the police as well. So the notice was sent earlier and there was no action, there was no reply. If there was no reply from the authority or the management of the restaurant, so they could have taken action earlier which could have saved the life. And also from the local police, if I tell you, there are multiple CCTVs here, and local police can easily gather information about the timeline which they can easily establish in the court. But certainly Goa police has not visited this residence or the office, and after certain time, these evidences would be vanished. So certainly there are multiple questions which local authorities would have to they have to answer. Certainly it is about the delays which were done by the local authority in taking action, and also why if there was no fire NOC, why this restaurant was running. Back to you.
Right, absolutely. You are talking about how this particular group has various properties across the country, many in Delhi, NCR as well. What is the status of those properties, those restaurants? Are they functioning? Have they been shut down at the moment, fearing action? What is the status there, Ankur?
So certainly, local authorities must have contacted the restaurants, especially if I tell you about the restaurants in Delhi. So local authorities must have contacted them, asked them to submit their full details, and also The MCD sent a notice to Civil Lines, their restaurant in Civil Lines, few months back. So obviously the local authorities in Delhi also, they must be, communicating with the authority and the management, since both the brothers are absconding. So it would be tough for the lower staff to run a restaurant if there is nobody from the top management is looking after these these restaurants back there.
Right, Yesha, and so far the authorities have not managed to get anybody who's working for the Luthra brothers on record to get in the whereabouts of the brothers or any details about these properties, because this action was something that this club must be fearing since May, but clearly nothing was done about it, and that's the brazenness that they have been functioning out of Goa, and that is what resulted in this tragedy at the other location where the blaze happened.
Absolutely. In fact, when we speak of these questions is based on how these properties are functioning without, with having illegal structures. Apart from that, also when it comes to the properties, what's another important point to note is that several of these properties did not have the requisite documents on them. So all of this is, of course, a question that remains unanswered. But time and again, like we were speaking about, the authorities had sent letters to those associated with the company, to Luthra brothers. But whether any kind of questioning was done, or was there, or was there, for that matter, any kind of pressure that was mounted onto the authorities to ensure that no action is taken, is something that still remains unclear. Authorities have gone ahead to say that they are in fact looking into the entire issue, but whether this action was stopped earlier as well, because so far there are several leaders in Goa who've gone ahead to in fact critique on the political clout of the Luthra brothers, stating that even earlier as well, when these clubs were formed, there were questions that were raised in the club. There were several irregularities on the part of the club, but despite all of these irregularities, the clubs were given a permission. So all of these are in fact points that are time and again been highlighted on various political platforms. However, on the part of Luthra brothers, there's absolutely no information, because this is again a war of words that we see unfolding over the tragedy that took place. Yes.
Ankur, there have been a lot of issues that have been associated with Romeo Lane. This particular incident of this blaze that happened had performers from Kazakhstan that were performing. They did not have the requisite visa to be working in the country. These details have also emerged while we look at this demolition from Vagator that's currently underway, demolishing the illegal structure of the flagship club of the Luthra brothers that's currently underway. Ankur?
Yes, certainly. So there are multiple authorities who are now working to check the license, permission and everything, whether the Romeo Lane in Goa had those permission or not. But the question arises here is, why only after the incident? Why authorities even in Delhi, if they are checking the permission and the license or any documentation, why only after the incident, and why only restrict to a particular restaurant? It should be ideally with all the other restaurants also. If I tell you about, there are multiple restaurants who in Hoskas, in other places also, which is, in multiple times they have been termed as tinder box. So they have a very narrow escape. In case of any fire, it would be very tough for anyone to escape from from the restaurant. The same thing happened in that particular restaurant in Goa. So certainly authorities must have taken action earlier, so that 25 lives could have been saved. Back to you.
Right, absolutely. Yesha, you have been mentioning about this notice as far as the illegal addition to the Vagator property that was sent out in May. So this action that we are seeing at the moment that is unfolding is only to demolish this additional illegal structure, or is the entire club coming down?
So yes, like we were speaking about time and again, it is only the illegal part of the structure. Approximately 189 square feet is the illegal structure that is being brought down by the Goa authorities. In fact, what we speak about, the very notice that was issued is also for the illegal structure. As far as the protocol and the rules are concerned, none of the authorities can in fact bring down the entire structure until and unless there are serious mishaps or serious questions that are raised on that club. So until and unless that is the case, or for the matter, if the entire club is called illegal, is only when the structure can be brought down. So far, it is only the illegal bit of the structure that is being brought down, and this is the same illegal structure that's for which the notice is issued in May. Yes.
Right. Ankur, I was mentioning about the people working at Birch by Romeo Lane, that property where this blaze really occurred that ended up killing 25 people. There have been so many issues. The Sarpanch of the Arpora village was also nabbed and apprehended by the police. He, some time back, had also registered a complaint against the owners on how they have been working without the requisite permission. Was anything done about that complaint that had been registered by the Sarpanch, and what really came out of the questioning of the Sarpanch?
So, Griha, basically now all the authorities are taking action against the restaurant, and the Panchayat also sent a letter claiming that there is a violation. So there were allegedly multiple structural violations, fire safety norms were not followed, and also there were multiple structural issues. So after the incident, different authorities are now taking action against Romeo Lane. This has been also, the part of it has been now demolished. So certainly important question is why even now every authority, Goa local authority, even after sending multiple communications to them, why they did not take any action if there was no communication from the management side. This was the primarily the main question. This in this particular case, it is also important that we have been hearing that this particular authority also sent a notice to Romeo Lane, and other authorities also sent. So similarly, even after sending the communication, if you are not taking action against illegal structure where the fire safety norms are not followed. Let's get in a word from Mayuresh also on that very aspect, who's also joining us. Mayuresh, and that's a very, very pertinent question. And the authorities must answer. Certainly the action is being done now, but only after 25 people have lost their life. There has been a blaze. This restaurant was allowed to permit to be functional without the required permission. A concern that was flagged by the village Sarpanch, and now there is another property. The illegal aspect of the property was flagged by the agencies in May, but an action is only being done now. Why?
Absolutely, Greta. That is the main question. And I'll again remind our viewers that we had done an interview with Sankalp Amonkar, who's a BJP MLA who had raised the issue in last assembly, which happened in August. In the assembly on the floor of the house, he raised the issue that this particular club has been built on the paddy land, which is illegal construction. So why there is no action taken? And he was promised that the action will be taken. But after that, there was no action taken by the local authorities. And that's why the question has been asked again and again to the Pramod Sawant government, that what exactly his government was doing. Were they waiting that the 25 people should lose their life and then only they will take action? Because after losing the innocent 25 lives, now the Pramod Sawant government has gathered those girls and they are doing this demolition of this particular club or another club related to these two brothers. But why there was no prompt action was taken when there were several complaints against it and the action was pending with the local authorities?
So, Mayuresh, you are saying it's a rot that runs deep. It could be a builder, authorities, nexus. How did the brothers even get that property, get hands at the property, which was supposed to be a paddy field? That's a big question. Did the village Sarpanch, the Arpora village Sarpanch, flag certain concerns in the past about this?
Absolutely. The local authorities have issued notices to that particular club. That's what we have been given to understand, but no action was taken. When I asked Sankalp Amonkar, the BJP MLA, the same question, you feel that there was a kind of a nexus of authorities and the owners? He clearly said that even the owners, the current owners, the Luthra brothers, have nabbed that particular land from the local people who are the owners of that particular land. So the land grabbing had also happened. That's what the allegation the BJP MLA had given.
Right, absolutely. Mayuresh, more details about this particular demolition that we are putting out for our viewers on the screen. This is at Vagator Beach. When was this property, Birch by Romeo Lane, set up? And what are we exactly looking at here? What does this notice really say? Is it only talking about the illegal construction of 189 square feet that Yesha is being reporting, or are they going to take the matter up, talk about the kind of clearances that were missing, that the property and the owners did not bother to first procure before getting this club to function?
See, absolutely. Right now, they are taking the action, which is kind of a pending action on illegal construction, which they have constructed, and the authorities have issued the notice to them. But it would be interesting to see that whether the Pramod Sawant government holds responsible the local authorities who basically failed to take this action earlier.
Well, absolutely. Let's get in a word from Ankur as well. Ankur, we're constantly talking about this blue corner notice against the brothers, even as their properties are being, run down. At least this one property that we are putting out for our viewers, the brothers are still absconding. What we do know is that they have gone to Thailand, and now there is a blue corner notice against them. An image also is there for our viewers to see of what we have put out of Gaurav Luthra from Thailand. The next course of action, once we do get to know about the whereabouts of the brother, what is it that the Indian authorities can do? What will be the next set of actions for the CBI, the Interpol?
Yes, certainly. So CBI works as a nodal agency of Interpol in India. All the Interpol notices issued by the CBI, be it red corner or blue corner, and there are other notices level also. So here the important thing is now it would be very tough for the Indian agencies, even the central agencies, to bring back Luthra brothers from Thailand. It would have been much easier for the local authorities if they had stopped Luthra brothers from leaving this country. So certainly now all the even the central agencies, apart from the Goa police, they have been also roped in this particular matter, and probably it is expected that through diplomatic way government may take help of Thailand local authorities to bring back Luthra brothers as soon as possible. Back to you.
Ankur, I could not help but notice and hear the dogs, the pets of the Luthra brothers bark, in the background. You are mentioning that they have been inhuman enough to leave their pets behind, and that's what the urgency really was for them to run away from the country.
Yeah, so basically there is a pet who's inside the Labrador. The pet they left Labrador inside their house. They while leaving this country, they left just a dog and a guard inside their home, and also not in this winter season they left a dog at the parking lot, not at their residence. So certainly there is concerns among other neighbors also who are pet lovers. One of them told us that we are also worried about the dog, whether the caretaker is actually properly taking care of the dog, whether he is feeding properly, properly feeding the dog or not. So there are, this shows the character of the Luthra brothers. Once they tried to flee, they already left the country while their restaurant was facing the major, where the 25 lives lost. They decided at that time, while they were the local authorities were trying to control the fire, they decided to leave the country, and they also decided to park their cars instead of sending their dog to some shelter home. The whole multiple instance hint about the character of Luthra brothers.
Right, do stay on with us, Ankur. We also have Yesha, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. Yesha, we are putting out these visuals of this demolition constantly, but few questions that still remain unanswered, even as the Luthra brothers are on the run. While you can do this arm flexing exercise of demolishing the illegal parts of the property, the question still remains that this is an action that is only being taken now, after 25 people have been killed, after the locals had already flagged concerns regarding this particular property. But it's too late.
Absolutely. In fact, like you rightly said, it's too late for this kind of an action to take place, considering the fact that all this while it was being time and again highlighted of the irregularities being done at both the clubs of Luthra brothers, the Birch, for that matter, Romeo Lake. Both of these properties, there were time and again mention of how there were irregular construction, there was illegal construction, illegal activities that were being conducted at those locations. Now here, when we speak of the blaze also that broke out at Birch by Romeo Lane, it has in fact been highlighted that when the fires broke out, there were no fire permissions. There was a fire, so there were no permissions that were untaken. Clearly, organizers knew that in case of a fire, so there can be untoward incidents that can take place. But despite all of that, the organizers of the show did not really take any action. And amidst all of this is where now questions are being raised. There's demolition activity taking place at one of the clubs of Luthra brothers. So clearly, the question remains as to whether it took 25 lives, for the authorities to really act on the illegal activities that are taking place in Goa.
Okay, all right, do stay on with us. Mayuresh, wanted to have a quick word about how this is going to be, in fact, having a ripple effect. Other properties in the area, surrounding area, because we do know how tourists dominate this entire club culture in Goa. There are very many properties that must also be running illegally. Will this be an exemplary punishment and will help bring the news close in on those other properties as well? Are the authorities also looking at other such constructions?
Griha, to be very frank with you, I will say that this is a very routine exercise for Goa government. Because if you remember 2 years back when the Haryana-based model was also a member of one of the political parties, she basically died in one of such clubs. And after that, a lot of noise were raised, a lot of voices were raised, and then the Goa government basically acted and they raised the illegal construction of that particular club. So, and that particular club was also in Anjuna, and the case was also registered in Anjuna police. So, it is a very, I will say, a routine process for the Goa government that whenever such kind of thing happens, they start taking action after that. But they never take any prompt action because this is the economy. This is the source of their economy. That's what they always say unofficially. Because it is very much, we have to understand one thing, that it is unlikely that the officials are aware of any kind of illegal construction which is happening in their jurisdiction. They have not served the notice, or I will say that despite serving the notice, they have not taken any action. If the officers have not taken any action, then obviously it is kind of a nexus which gets closed. So in this case also, Pramod Sawant government should question their own officials who had served the notice, who had given the notice of illegal construction to them, then why the particular club's portion was not raised, why the action had not happened. And onus is on Pramod Sawant government, because his government or his local authorities have not taken any action when the notices were served. If the BJP MLA raising the issue on the floor of the house and asking the question to the government in the response is, if giving answer that the action will be taken, and if action is not happening, then certainly it's a serious violation.
You continue to talk about the BJP MLA flagging these concerns, but this case dates back way back. We're talking about a 20-year-old legal battle that the original owner of this property, this land where this property has been set up, has been fighting. He in fact had flagged irregularities, the illegalities that have been part of the construction of Birch by Romeo Lane. It only took a tragedy for the entire country and the authorities to sit up and take notice.
Absolutely. In 2023, they have got the license to operate. That's what the local document suggests. But since before that, this battle was happening. And as I told you, even Sankalp Amonkar have told me on record that this particular land doesn't belong to both Luthra brothers. They have nabbed this land from the local people who are the original owners of this particular land. It was a paddy field. That's the on-record statement of Sankalp Amonkar, who is a BJP MLA.
All right, we were talking about the history. Let's get in our viewers a bit more information about this particular property. We are talking about a 20-year-old case that was being fought by Pradeep Gadi Amonkar. He is the original owner of this land on which this property, Birch by Romeo Lane, was set up in Arpora, where this blaze occurred on the 6th of December. And he had flagged irregularities about this nightclub. where the fire claimed the lives of 25 people. He in fact has been relentlessly fighting a legal battle against the property owners for the last 20 years. And these concerns have not rung any bell with the authorities so far. It only took this massive tragedy for them to wake up and take notice. We are learning that Amonkar had in fact purchased 2 plots of land in Arpora village, and that was way back in 1994. He had signed an agreement for sale with a certain Mr. S.K. Khosla in 2004, but that was withdrawn as Khosla could not pay the money, and that property was later taken up by the Luthra brothers, and he has been fighting this case. And there are several other concerns. Mayuresh is talking about how the BJP MLAs also flagged concerns on how this property has been set up on a paddy field, and that's why it has been illegal. And certain clearances, of course, fire clearances and safety norms have been flouted by the property owners who are currently on the run. Right now, the demolition of another property in Vagator of the Luthra brothers underway. The visuals on your screens as we go into a very short break.
This is News 18. Stay ahead with News 18. News from your city in your language. Real-time updates, in-depth analysis, and breaking news. Anytime, anywhere. Only on the News 18 app. Scan and download the new now.
ये आपकी रक्षा के लिए और ये आपकी रक्षा के लिए।
अरे ये क्या है?
ये आपकी रक्षा के लिए और ये घर की रक्षा के लिए।
न जले न पिघले, घर घर को सेफ बनाएं। अपार अणुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर।
Story of criminal negligence and brazen escape in Goa. The owners of Birch, the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra have fled to Phuket in Thailand within hours of this massive blaze that eventually killed 25 people. Interestingly, both took an Indigo flight to escape while airports were in chaos, leaving the airline facing scrutiny. A lookout circular has been issued against the brothers, and authorities are coordinating with Interpol and the CBI to bring them back. In the latest, 2 more properties under the Luthra brothers' names have been sealed, bringing the total to 3. Another name has surfaced amidst the probe. Ajay Gupta, reportedly the 3rd partner in the club. A search is ongoing for him. The Goa Disaster Management Authority has ordered all nightclubs, bars and event venues in Goa to conduct safety audits within 7 days. Public is urged to report any sightings to Anjana Police immediately.
गोवा के बर्च बॉय रोमियो लेन क्लब के अंदर जिस तरह से पूरा घटनाक्रम हुआ, 25 लोगों की दर्दनाक मौत हो गई और उसके बाद उसके जो दोनों ऑनर हैं सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा, वो दिल्ली निवासी जरूर है लेकिन वहां पर रहने के बावजूद भी वो वहां से फरार हो गए। उनके खिलाफ लुकआउट नोटिस जारी किया गया, लेकिन उससे पहले ही, क्योंकि इस वक्त हम दिल्ली के उसी घर में हैं जो सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा का घर है, क्योंकि कई बड़ी चेन इन लोगों के इस रोमियो लेन क्लबों की है और इसको लेकर करोड़ों अरबों रुपयों का बिजनेस इनका है। आप देखेंगे इस घर में जब गोवा पुलिस पहुंची थी एक दिन पहले तो यहाँ पर कोई नहीं मिला, क्योंकि इस घर के जो भी लोग थे वो सब यहाँ से जा चुके हैं। घर के अंदर कोई बात करने वाला नहीं था और इसीलिए गोवा, उत्तरी गोवा के अरपोरा में ये चर्च बर्च बॉय रोमियो लेन नाइट क्लब था जहाँ पर हादसा हुआ था, आगजनी हुई थी। आगजनी के बाद
Story of criminal negligence and brazen escape in Goa. The owners of Birch, the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra have fled to Phuket in Thailand within hours of this massive blaze that eventually killed 25 people. Interestingly, both took an Indigo flight to escape while airports were in chaos, leaving the airline facing scrutiny. A lookout circular has been issued against the brothers, and authorities are coordinating with Interpol and the CBI to bring them back. In the latest, 2 more properties under the Luthra brothers' names have been sealed, bringing the total to 3. Another name has surfaced amidst the probe. Ajay Gupta, reportedly the third partner in the club. A search is ongoing for him. The Goa Disaster Management Authority has ordered all nightclubs, bars and event venues in Goa to conduct safety audits within 7 days. Public is urged to report any sightings to Anjana Police immediately.
गोवा के बर्च बॉय रोमियो लेन क्लब के अंदर जिस तरह से पूरा घटनाक्रम हुआ, 25 लोगों की दर्दनाक मौत हो गई और उसके बाद उसके जो दोनों ऑनर हैं सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा, वो दिल्ली निवासी जरूर है लेकिन वहां पर रहने के बावजूद भी वो वहां से फरार हो गए। उनके खिलाफ लुकआउट नोटिस जारी किया गया, लेकिन उससे पहले ही, क्योंकि इस वक्त हम दिल्ली के उसी घर में हैं जो सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा का घर है, क्योंकि कई बड़ी चेन इन लोगों के इस रोमियो लेन क्लबों की है और इसको लेकर करोड़ों अरबों रुपयों का बिजनेस इनका है। आप देखेंगे इस घर
यहाँ भी तो डिबेट जो है और तरह में जा रही थी संविधान सभा में। बाबा साहब खड़े हुए और उन्होंने कहा हमारे बाद भी बहुत से देश आजाद होंगे, भारत को नेतृत्व करना चाहिए मताधिकार के मामले में। अगर हम सबको मताधिकार दे देंगे और वैल्यू एक रखेंगे, एक आदमी एक वोट दे, एक ही वैल्यू हो, तो उसका प्रभाव दूसरे देशों में जाएगा। इस कारण से सबको मताधिकार मिला और बाबा साहब ने ये कहा संविधान सभा में। किसी ने कहा कि ये महिलाओं को मताधिकार अभी क्यों दे रहे हो, ये तो परिवार के जो मुखिया कहेंगे उसके अनुसार वोट करेंगे। बाबा साहब ने कहा ऐसा नहीं है, भारतीय महिलाएं समझदार है, जब वो भागीदारी करेगी तो लोकतंत्र मजबूत होगा। अब नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महिलाएं भी भागीदारी कर रही है, लोकतंत्र मजबूत हो रहा है। बाबा साहब की बात सही निकली। इससे आगे बढ़ते हुए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जब नए संसद भवन में पहले बिल के रूप में नारी शक्ति बंधन, यहां भी बाबा साहब को ही श्रद्धांजलि दी है नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने। नारी शक्ति बंधन जो अधिनियम बना हमारा, जिसमें लोकसभा और विधानसभाओं में 33% महिलाओं को रिजर्वेशन किसने किया? नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ने किया। भाई आप तो नहीं कर पाए ना। चुनाव आयोग के मार्गदर्शन में देश का प्रथम आम चुनाव।
बैठिए, फिर आप नहीं रहेंगे यहाँ।
सर, चुनाव आयोग के ही मार्गदर्शन में देश में प्रथम आम चुनाव 25 अक्टूबर 1951 से 21 फरवरी 52 तक सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न हुआ। बहुत से लोगों ने आर्टिकल लिखे सर, बहुत से लोगों ने लेख लिखा कि भारत में लोकतंत्र सफल होगा कि नहीं होगा। चुनाव आयोग ने कितना बड़ा काम प्रथम चुनाव आयोग से करना शुरू किया सर। हम चुनाव आयोग जैसी संस्था, जिसका हमारे साथी ललन सिंह जी ठीक ही कह रहे थे कि बाबा साहब ने कहा कि ये, हाँ बाबा साहब की बात तो आनी चाहिए ना, ये बाबा साहब ने कहा ये एक स्वतंत्र निकाय के रूप में काम करे और इसकी चर्चा, इस ललन सिंह जी कह रहे थे भाई ये एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी है, इसकी चर्चा आपने मांगी। हमने कहा भाई एसआईआर तो उनका इंटरनल वर्क है चुनाव आयोग का, आप इलेक्शन रिफॉर्म में चर्चा कर लो। आप इलेक्शन रिफॉर्म माने नहीं उस समय इलेक्शन रिफॉर्म मान ले तो चर्चा हम उस समय भी कर देते।
This is
story of criminal negligence and brazen escape in Goa. The owners of Birch, the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra have fled to Phuket in Thailand within hours of this massive blaze that eventually killed 25 people. Interestingly, both took an Indigo flight to escape while airports were in chaos, leaving the airline facing scrutiny. A lookout circular has been issued against the brothers and authorities are coordinating with Interpol and the CBI to bring them back. In the latest, 2 more properties under the Luthra brothers' names have been sealed, bringing the total to 3. Another name has surfaced amidst the probe. Ajay Gupta, reportedly the third partner in the club. A search is ongoing for him. The Goa Disaster Management Authority has ordered all nightclubs, bars and event venues in Goa to conduct safety audits within 7 days. Public is urged to report any sightings to Anjana Police immediately.
गोवा के बर्च बॉय रोमियो लेन क्लब के अंदर जिस तरह से पूरा घटनाक्रम हुआ, 25 लोगों की दर्दनाक मौत हो गई और उसके बाद उसके जो दोनों ऑनर हैं सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा, वो दिल्ली निवासी जरूर है, लेकिन वहाँ पर रहने के बावजूद भी वो वहाँ से फरार हो गए। उनके खिलाफ लुकआउट नोटिस जारी किया गया, लेकिन उससे पहले ही, क्योंकि इस वक्त हम दिल्ली के उसी घर में हैं जो सौरभ लूथरा और गौरव लूथरा का घर है, क्योंकि कई बड़ी चेन इन लोगों के इस रोमियो लेन क्लबों की है और इसको लेकर करोड़ों अरबों रुपयों का बिजनेस इनका है। आप देखेंगे इस घर में जब गोवा पुलिस पहुंची थी एक दिन पहले तो यहाँ पर कोई नहीं मिला, क्योंकि इस घर के जो भी लोग थे वो सब यहाँ से जा चुके हैं। घर के अंदर कोई बात करने वाला नहीं था और इसीलिए उत्तरी गोवा के अरपोरा में ये बर्च बॉय रोमियो लेन नाइट क्लब था जहाँ पर हादसा हुआ था। आगजनी हुई थी। आगजनी के बाद अगले दिन ही दोनों भाइयों ने सुबह की फ्लाइट से फुकेट की उड़ान भर ली और फुकेट जाकर पता चला, क्योंकि एजेंसियां इस पूरे मामले में जब जांच करने बैठी, उनसे मुलाकात करने के लिए, उनसे पूछताछ करने पहुंची, उनके खिलाफ मामला दर्ज किया गया था, लेकिन दोनों भाई फरार हो गए। ये दिल्ली के मुखर्जी नगर में उनका ये घर है और आलीशान इस बिल्डिंग को देखकर आपको अंदाजा लगाया जा सकता है, क्योंकि दिल्ली में भी कई सारे, दिल्ली एनसीआर में कई सारे क्लब हैं उनके जहाँ पर उनकी मूवमेंट रहती है। एक दिन पहले ही गोवा पुलिस ने सब्जी मंडी इलाके से भरत नाम का एक शख्स गिरफ्तार किया है जो इनके पूरे ऑपरेशंस को संभालता था। दिल्ली के क्लब समेत कई जगह के इस क्लब को भरत कोहली संभालता था और भरत कोहली से पूछताछ करने के लिए गोवा पुलिस उसे गोवा लेकर गई है। कुछ ऐसे और नाम हैं जो दिल्ली से तलाशे जा रहे हैं, जिनकी तलाश की जा रही है।
Let's also get you more of the timeline that we've managed to establish of how the Luthras escaped immediately after this fire broke out in their nightclub. So 12:04 is on December 7, that night of December 7 is when this fire was reported at the nightclub, which eventually claimed as many as 25 lives. But what we know is that in another couple of hours itself, by 2:30 a.m. itself, the Luthra brothers reached the Delhi airport and they actually managed to buy tickets and take.
Welcome back to the Nation at 5. We are now getting breaking news input, and this is to do with the fresh statement that has been put out by Indigo, and this is what it reads. Let me quote from it. Can confirm that after days of significant and steady improvement across the network, we have reinstated our operations across our network. Today, we are operating more than 1,800 flights connecting all 138 sections in and stations in our network, and plan to fly nearly 1,900 flights tomorrow. We have optimized our operations and our on-time performance is also back to normal levels. We've also automated the procedure for our customers to get full refunds upon cancellation with no questions asked. That is what the statement by Indigo really reads, pretty much in line with their CEO, who had just very short while back put out his video message that he's been doing on a daily basis ever since this crackdown with the government against Indigo Airlines, also the show cause that has been sent out to the Indigo Airlines, and this entire sword of a resignation hanging on his head. And with latest statement by Indigo.
Yes, Griya, and Indigo has said that they are confirming that after days of significant and steady improvements across network, they have reinstated their operations, and this means that they've also said that they have operated over 1,800 flights connecting all 138 destinations. Previously, CEO also gave out a message and said that they are operating on all 138 destinations now, and operations have reached above 1,800, and tomorrow they are expecting operations to reach 1,900 and plus. Also, they've gone on to say that refunds have been made almost in majority cases, and they've said that automated the procedure for customer and to get full refund upon cancellation without any questions being asked, and through simple process on their website. So probably they have also made it easier for people to get their refunds and claim their refunds. But at the same time, a detailed meeting was held with the Indigo at the ministry today, and they have also made sure that the root cause of this chaos that occurred over the 4 to 5 days, that needs to be identified and a measure be brought upon as to this is not repeated in future. And wherever such measures are required to be implemented, and FDTL norms as they will now be, even for that now they have been put in abeyance, but if in future it has to be implemented, that is done properly and such chaos is not witnessed again in the future.
But absolutely, Anvit, thank you so much. Like I was mentioning about how the Indigo CEO, Peter Elbers, has been putting out video statements on a day-wise basis. Today also, he had put out this statement talking about the normalizing of all the operations, and they have achieved that target. And this is what the statement by Indigo also reads. We're now cutting across these live visuals of Navy Day celebrations. These shots from Mumbai, from the gateway of India, where we are looking at the Navy Day celebrations currently underway.
This is News 18 Network.
Story of criminal negligence and brazen escape in Goa. The owners of Birch, the nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, have fled to Phuket in Thailand within hours of this massive.
Of course, Mayuresh, we've heard what the kin of the victim has also said. There was no safety protocol in place. It was an enclosed space, no fire extinguishers. She is claiming that there were perhaps more than 25 people. There were very few who were able to escape because the main exit was quite a distance away from the entry of the club. What can you tell us?
Absolutely, and in such scenario, that's why a lot of questions are getting asked over Goa government as well as the local authorities, that when there are several notices issued against this particular nightclub for illegal construction, for land grabbing, and even for the demolition, why there was no action happen, and which again raises another question, that is there authorities are having hand in glove with the owners, and that's why no action was taken. Also, there is another serious allegation against the Goa government, and especially the chief minister who is leading this government, that how basically the owners flee to other country, why there was no immediate lookout notice issued against these two owners. So certainly right now the Goa government is in a dock and it is in a question, first over the illegal construction which this club had done and no fire safety norms they followed, and second about the owners, they fled immediately after this incident.
Right, from what I heard from that statement also, it's not that they didn't follow any measures here. There were none. They didn't exist in that particular establishment. And of course, while their establishment was up in flames, the two brothers were on their way to Phuket, Thailand. As you mentioned, there are lots of questions being asked over this also. We have to talk about the Indigo irony here also. On a day when Indigo was facing such debilitating disruptions in flight cancellations, on a day when there were some 600 to 700 flights that were cancelled, these two managed to, at 5:30 a.m., get on a flight and flee to Phuket. Mayuresh?
Absolutely, even that poses that poses a question. That first question is that when this incident happened, when the already a lot of notices were issued by local Gram Panchayat, local authorities against this particular club. First, why no action was happened? Second, how did they flee with the by just purchasing a ticket of Indigo and going directly to the abroad? Why there was no lookout notice issued against them? If that was done immediately after this incident, then certainly the authorities would have stopped them at the airport itself.
Absolutely. Now that remains a big mystery also right now, and from what we heard in the victim's kin statement also, she spoke of how it was actually a spark from that pyro gun which led to this devastating.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. In a sweeping statement accusing Election Commission of election rigging, LOP Rahul Gandhi posed several questions related to his vote chori campaign today in Parliament. He said vote chori is the biggest anti-national act and demanded that rules protecting election commissioners from legal cases should be withdrawn, promising that his government will do so. when they come to power. He reiterated that Haryana, for example, was stolen and that theft was ensured by the Election Commission of India. His comment alleging RSS capture of all institutions also led to a furor inside Parliament. While BJP's Nishikant Dubey reminded Congress of the dark days of booth capturing under its governments that made the EVMs necessary, the very EVMs that Congress is questioning today, the question that also goes out to the Congress party is why hasn't anyone from the party, let alone Rahul Gandhi, given a signed affidavit to the Election Commission of India making exactly these charges and forcing an investigation or a response? Political theatrics aside, is the vote chori campaign by the Congress being bought by the public or ground, or has it already become a matter of flogging a dead horse? We'll take that to our guest joining us in just a bit. But first up, while speaking in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi has made three key demands as far as the electoral reform related concern in the country is concerned. So first is he has reiterated the demand that machine readable voter rolls should be provided to all political parties 1 month before every election. He has also demanded that the law that allows the deletion of CCTV footage of booths CCTV after 45